If I was more annoying, I would be saying that this is like my Joker, but thankfully I'm not. And also, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to get too excited and count my chickens before they hatch or whatever. I feel like if it was any other female director other than Greta Gerwig, I would allow myself to get a little bit more excited about it. But as it stands, I'm kind of trying to like manage my expectations, if you will. But first, let's go through the trailer. With a fine-tooth comb, a plastic Barbie comb that has like glitter sparkles weaved into the plastic, so that we know exactly what we're in for. Okay, sorry, I already have notes. I saw people on Twitter being like, why are the shoes ugly or something? And you know, this would have been the perfect moment for like a fashion tie-in or like, you know, from some big like luxury fashion house or whatever. And I'm like, it's Barbie, like, first of all, but also they're cute. You see, this is the kind of like uber femininity that people, you know, are kind of repulsed by a lot of times, and I personally find a lot of joy and delight in. It's very like pinky, frilly, over the top, and I hate to say it, but you know, if going by these shoes right here, the costume department may have done their jobs, but it's too soon to say. The Barbie feet. I hate to like, you know, be focusing so much on her feet, but like she literally has the Barbie feet. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so they're all named Barbie.
I thought I might stay over tonight.
Why?
Because we're girlfriend, boyfriend.
To do what?
I'm actually not sure.
Okay, a cute little moment referencing the smooth genitals of the Barbie and Ken dolls, which, by the way, can y'all let me know down in the comments if y'all ever had an actual Ken doll? I had a lot of Barbie dolls, but I don't think I ever had a Ken doll. I think I had one Barbie doll who I like gave a really bad haircut to with like a pair of craft scissors, and from then on she was like the boy or the butch, if you will. Rest in peace to that Barbie. But like, I mean, how many of y'all actually had a Ken doll? Like, I feel like that's like the height of luxury, you know, to have like an actual Ken doll, because I'm like, you're taking up like valuable real estate here, like plastic man taking up space that could have been used for like a Teresa Barbie or something, you know? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's really cute that Ken and Barbie are like, should we sleep over or something? And then it's like, to do what? And they're like, I don't know. But I'm like, what, do y'all not have sleepovers? Like, I feel like there's a lot of things to do that isn't said, okay? Everything does look very plastic. The outfits, again, are very like lame in a cute way. They're very like girly, frilly, pinky pop, and I love that. Do y'all have a crush on Ryan Gosling? Like, I never watched The Notebook, so maybe that's like why I don't care for him as much. But also, I don't know, how do y'all feel about Simu? He's personally not my cup of tea, and also, like, I guess on a more like non-aesthetic note, I've heard some things about him and I'm like, I don't know about that guy. But you know, to each their own. Oh, they're going to the real world. The rollerblades look really good. They like look super plasticky, like, you know, the kind that was made in a factory mold. Excellent attention to detail there. Also, did y'all see the little reference to Ken's buddy, Alan? Which Michael Cera is like such a good Alan. So I saw that little thing at the end where it says that they're driving into the real world, and then somebody actually in the comments on my poll where I was like asking about the Barbie trailer on the community tab, one of y'all actually commented and was like, they're kind of going to be doing like a, what's the word? like in an anime when they get transported from like a video game into the real world or vice versa. That kind of trope. It looks like they're gonna be doing that where it's like Margot Robbie and Ken are going to be transported into like the real world out of the Barbie world, which is kind of sad to me because I am like, you know, I've seen like all the little Barbies and Kens that they've cast here, and I've seen like a lot of the set pieces and set designs that they've done for the Barbie world. And if they're going to be set in like the real world, doesn't it kind of mean that they're just like not going to use all that? Which is so sad. Like, what a waste. I was expecting to go in and have my retinas blown out by like super pop cotton candy pink, like plastic smooth architecture of the Barbie world. But if they're both gonna be, you know, having like a fish out of water experience where they're like trying to go through life in the real world or whatever, then it's like, well, what? Isn't that just basically Enchanted? And Amy Adams did that, okay? Well, also Life Size with Tyra Banks. It's been done before, basically. I mean, it's clear that they're like trying to keep a lot of the plot under wraps, but like you kind of pick up bits and pieces of the plot from, you know, what they kind of hinted at and everything. And if it is just going to be kind of like a fish out of water experience where Barbie and Ken are in the real world and they have to like, you know, navigate like, you know, taxes or, you know, like a four-way intersection, a sewer, mean New Yorkers, then it's like, okay, like that's not fun, but I'm also like, it's kind of been done before. But you know, I'm also gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, like maybe it'll be fun. But also, I don't know, I've been let down by Greta Gerwig in the past because I'm like, I saw Lady Bird. Did y'all like Lady Bird? Comment before I put my opinion out into the world, which is, I didn't really care for it either. I don't know. So I'm just like, and I didn't really see Little Women. I know everybody's probably gonna be like, you should go watch Little Women, but I'm like, I don't want to. I don't feel any special kind of like kinship or trust with Greta Gerwig as a director where I'm like, oh, she's not gonna mess this up. Like, I don't know her. She might mess it up. I don't know. I love Margot Robbie, of course. I remember I saw a tweet where it's like, I know every single blonde actress in Hollywood is hoping her visa expires soon, which like, that's so valid because every single iconic blonde woman that there has been in like the last half of a decade has been played by Margot Robbie. And like, I'm not complaining, but like, you know, you do have to wonder, like, are blondes being oppressed by Margot Robbie? Like, should we start a hashtag for them? Getting back to the casting, I love it. I think, again, I don't know, the Kens, I could like take or leave just from what I've seen from like this trailer. Also, no Bissy Ken. Actually, you know who would have been a really good Bissy Ken? Zayn Malik. He already looks like kind of like a little Ken doll, so I'm just like, but that's beside the point, because if they had cast him, then he would have looked really out of place because everybody in this cast is a little senior, I guess you could say. It's just a little, I don't know. I feel like something that exacerbates it is probably like they're wearing like very thick matte makeup probably to kind of like, again, mimic the plastic Barbie features, and then the lighting is pretty harsh and fluorescent to again mimic the kind of artificial feel of a play set or something like that. But all of that combined doesn't really do a lot for like a more mature complexion, if you know what I mean. And so it looks a little bit funny. And I'm kind of like a little worried about how I'm gonna feel about seeing like these more senior actors prancing around acting like Barbie and Ken. But also, listen, old people have lives too. You know, who am I to judge? I would definitely be prancing around in like all hot pink and like a bleach blonde wig in my like 80s or something. So it's whatever. Actually, that's exactly what I plan to do. So. And also, I feel like on the other hand, it could veer into more of like a camp territory of like, it's a little ridiculous, but everybody's just kind of going with it, and then it's like super fun. So I'm okay with that as well. What do we think is going to be like the major plot points and like the major conflicts and stuff? Here's my thing. I think Margot Robbie Barbie is feeling unfulfilled in Barbie world, because she's like, we're all Barbie, we're all happy all the time, but sometimes, you know, I contain multitudes and I want to see like what else is out there. And she doesn't want to tell anybody. Like maybe she kind of like mentions it to some of her Barbie pals, and they're like, what are you talking about, Barbie? We're so happy here, we love Barbie and Ken. And then she's like, you're right, but also she's still feeling unfulfilled. So she's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take my Barbie pink Corvette and I'm gonna drive into the real world. And then Ken, he's a little codependent and stuff, and he's feeling a little threatened by the other Kens, I think. And so he's like, you know, hiding out in like her backseat, and he's like, I'm coming with you. Kind of like, oh my God, this is so nerdy of me. I was about to make a Lord of the Rings reference. I was gonna say, like Sam following Frodo when he left the Shire. What's wrong with me? I think I'm a little bit of a Lord of the Rings head, or whatever you call yourself. Anyway, so now it's like they're both on this like wacky adventure together. And then, you know, they go into the real world. They meet up with, I don't know, they'll probably get like a guide of some sort. Maybe somebody who's kind of like the lady from Fleabag, like the main character of Fleabag, not the actress, but maybe the actress will play her, who knows. Kind of like the straight man, you know? And she's kind of like maybe like a jaded office woman or a jaded barista of some sort. Basically a jaded millennial of some kind. I think it's probably gonna be a woman. But I mean, you know, if I'm wrong, you can come back to this video and tell me that. And I'm like, that's fine. You know, like I'm okay with that. I can admit when I'm wrong. So then the girl's gonna be all jaded and like not having fun. She has to like take care of Barbie and Ken or something. Or her and her little like ragtag group of friends who are also jaded millennials have to like come and take care of Margot Robbie and stuff. And then Margot Robbie on her end, she's kind of like, oh my God, this world is so dark and dreary and blah, blah, blah. And also the people here have like real problems or whatever. And so then she kind of gets like a little bit more down and depressed, because she's already been feeling a little bit unfulfilled by her like Barbie world with Barbies and Kens and everything. And now this kind of feels like a vindication of that feeling, you know? It kind of like is reinforcing the idea that like everything that she knows and loves is fake and artificial. And she is a vapid airhead bimbo or something, you know? And so she's really sad and stuff. And then Ken, he's gonna try and be like the little ray of sunshine. He's gonna try and keep her spirits up and be like, Barbie, just because it's fake doesn't mean that it's not real, or something like that. And then Margot Robbie's like, no, Ken. The only reason we're even together in the first place is because we were made for each other. And then Ken's like, isn't that romantic? And she's like, no. It's like dystopian or something. And then they have a little bit of a breakup or something, and Ken's really sad. And then eventually he has his little downward spiral. And then Margot Robbie on her end, kind of like, you know, through the power of friendship or something, discovers or realizes just because her friends in Barbie world are like a little bit more fake and don't have, I guess, as much depth as people in the real world, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not real. Like, they still have problems. Just because their problems aren't as deep as, like, you know, tax fraud or, you know, not being able to pay rent doesn't mean that they're not legitimate problems. And like, that's her journey. She's like, I love my friends and they're just as real as depressed Patty Sue in the real world, and blah, blah, blah. And then depressed Patty Sue and her like jaded millennial squad on their end, they're gonna go ahead and see that the world is beautiful despite like taxes and rent. And so then they like have a tearful goodbye, and then Margot Robbie finds Ken, she apologizes, and she brings Ken out of his funk. And then she's like, let's go home, Ken. And then he's like, okay, Barbie. And then they have another tearful goodbye with like the jaded millennials that have shown them how to be human and also how to be dolls. And then they go home, and then their friends are like, oh my gosh. And then there's gonna be like some end screen zinger about like how, I don't know, one of the other Barbies or Kens is like, do you ever feel like everybody here is a little fake or something like that? And then Margot Robbie like looks into the camera and she's like, not at all, or something like that. That's my plot prediction. If I'm correct, I think Greta Gerwig owes me, let's say 5K. I think that's like reasonable because I'm sure she'll make more than that from this movie. But yeah, what are your guys' predictions for the movie? It's okay if you completely disagree with what my plot predictions are for the movie because I'm just having fun. We're just all having fun, okay? Don't even worry about it. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys think is going to happen in the movie, or like, you know, what you think is going to be like the big conflict, and whether you think there is going to be even like a group of jaded millennials or something. I don't know. I kind of just pulled that out of my ass. Like, it doesn't have to be like a real thing or something. How big of a role do you think Ken is gonna be? Do you think Margot Robbie is gonna have like a song and dance number in the real world, a la Enchanted? Do you think that this movie will be nominated for an Oscar? Yeah, let me know. You know, I always do read all the comments and I reply to them because I have the time. So anyway, thanks for watching this video and stuff. But you know, like, our relationship doesn't have to be dictated by YouTube analytics or the algorithm or something. It's just the only ones that can dictate our relationship is us. And that's called parasocialism or something. But yeah, like the video because, well, it just makes me feel loved. And you know what? Subscribe if you want to. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. And I love you. No, it still doesn't feel right. Okay, bye.